Left of the box. We'll start with Democracy Now! I'm pretty sure they won't mind me sharing their video. Yeah, they've gotten tons of views on it. Like, they're doing really well, which is good. Okay.
Chef Jose Andres' World Central Kitchen has suspended aid operations in Gaza after an Israeli airstrike killed 6 international workers from the charity and a Palestinian driver. The aid workers were struck after they left a warehouse in Deir al-Balah, where they had unloaded more than 100 tons of food aid that had been brought into Gaza by ship from Cyprus. The aid workers were driving in a clearly marked convoy branded with the charity's logo. World Central Kitchen said the attack occurred even though they'd coordinated in advance with the Israeli military. Aaron Gore, the CEO.
How much more needs to happen before people realize, like people, like I don't mean people like us, I mean the governments, just kind of acknowledge, accept the fact that Israel is targeting these humanitarian aid, that they're targeting doctors and hospitals. Like, at this point, it wouldn't surprise me, no matter what Israel does, that the Western governments still just kind of say, they have a right to defend themselves. Like, at what point is the line? Like, where is the line? Is there a line that it would go too far before our governments finally be like, yeah, we really should stop altogether sending weapons and support and money and maybe start telling them directly for a ceasefire? Like, they don't care when it's Palestinians. They don't care when it's their own citizens, because one of the people who died in this attack is an American-Canadian dual citizen. And yet, where is Canada on this? Really, just kind of, well, we'll get to one of the comments, but you know, it's not exactly a strong, condemnation for what Israel did.
Of World Central Kitchen said, quote, "This is not only an attack against WCK, this is an attack on humanitarian organizations showing up in the most dire of situations where food is being used as a weapon of war. This is unforgivable," unquote. Earlier today, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu acknowledged Israel carried out the attack, saying, quote, "Unfortunately, over the last day, there was a tragic incident of an unintended strike of our forces on innocent people in the Gaza Strip," he said.
It's been pointed out that there were 3 vehicles involved in this convoy of World Central Kitchen vans. All of them were struck. All of them. This wasn't an accident. They were targeted.
The killed aid workers include 3 British nationals, an Australian, a Polish national, and an American-Canadian dual citizen. 2 of the aid workers were filmed inside Gaza prior to the attack.
There is black lemon, there is some chili, there is 7 mixed spices, bay leaves, salt, pepper, and tomato paste.
Indeed. So this is the beautiful, fragrant, aromatic rice that will be served today from Deir al-Balah Kitchen. Thank you.
Both of those aid workers are now dead. UK Prime Minister Rishi Sunak said he was shocked and saddened by the attack. Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese also condemned the attack and demanded accountability from Israel.
This is a human tragedy that should never have occurred, that is completely unacceptable.
The official.
I want to know where Justin Trudeau is on this, or, well, we'll get to Melanie Joly's tweet about it, but where is Justin Trudeau coming out and saying that this was a horrific attack? Not an accident, an attack.
Official death toll in Gaza is now approaching 33,000 as Israel continues its assault in defiance of last week's UN Security Council ceasefire resolution.
These 2 people here are now gone. They went into this war zone knowing that they could be a target just to give food to starving people. Like, we always think of heroes, like you think of the Marvel superheroes and things of that sort, like, oh, they're going to come and save the day, and they're bigger than life. But really, heroes are just people. People who choose to do the right thing against immense odds, even at the risk of their own life, because they know it's the right thing to do, and they have the ability to do it. These are what heroes look like. No capes, no special armor, nothing to keep them safe. These are the heroes that the world needs. Just absolutely tragic, upsetting. But like I was saying, I don't think there's a line too far anymore. We've seen the footage of babies, children, of all sorts, like every horrific type scenario you can think of has happened. And every time you think to yourself, well, this will be the thing to get their attention, it never is. Because you have to keep in mind, they're saying, oh, well, now that they're foreigners, that they're going to actually, the governments might care. But the reality is, no, they won't, because there are Canadians in the Gaza Strip right now trying to get out. Canadian citizens. And of course, the Canadian government is putting a priority on trying to get them out, but they're not really doing the extra work to get them out. And I still just feel so conflicted about that, because yes, I want them to get out too, but why is their life more valuable than a Palestinian without a Canadian citizenship, without a Canadian relative? Why do we put more value depending on what passport you carry on a person? The easiest way to keep all people who are foreign to Gaza safe is to stop the bombing, stop the attacks. That's how you keep them all safe. Palestinians and foreigners, that's how you keep them safe. But this is what the Foreign Affairs Minister of Canada tweeted out. I am horrified to hear reports of the IDF strike taking the lives of 7 World Central Kitchen employees in Gaza yesterday, including a Canadian citizen. We condemn these strikes and call for a full investigation. Canada expects full accountability for these killings, and we will convey this to the Israeli government directly. Strikes on humanitarian personnel is absolutely unacceptable. International humanitarian law must be respected. At no point has it been respected in this. Over and over and over again, Canada says, well, Israel has the right to defend itself, as long as it's doing it within the realms of humanitarian law. But they've already broken that so many times. Like, I'd be surprised if there's a follow-up to this. These are empty words. There's no actions to back it up. You get so mad when you see this over and over again, and they're never doing their jobs. They're never doing what, the people want. So frustrating. Beeson has tweeted this out. Stop to think about why they put their logo on the roof of their van, where no person or other car could see it. It was so that they could be seen and not be targeted from people with weapons who are above them. The truth is, Israel aims straight for that logo. And yeah, with all the technology and the weapons, like, what is Canada going to say after all the weapons that we gave them defective weapons, that they wouldn't be able to target that, they wouldn't be able to see what that is with the weapons that we gave them? Yeah, I don't think so. Canada knows very well that it was targeted, that they could see which vehicle it was. But with UNRWA falling apart there without the funding, without access to what they need, the World Central Kitchen became the next thing that was trying to help the starving people in Gaza. The Israeli government wants them to starve. They want them to. So they're doing everything they can to stop the organizations that are supplying them with any amount of food. There are people blocking food from getting into Gaza. Zionists that are sitting out there blocking food because they don't want the starving Gazans to be fed. I can't imagine how horrific the conditions are in there right now. What it must be like. I don't want to imagine it. We shouldn't have to. So from the World Central Kitchen, 7 World Kitchen 7 World Central Kitchen team members killed in Gaza. Central Kitchen is devastated to confirm 7 members of our team have been killed in an IDF strike in Gaza. The WCK team was traveling in a deconflicted zone in 2 armored cars branded with WCK logo and a soft skin vehicle. So they were in an area that was not supposed to be targeted. Also, as the Democracy Now! Mentioned, they had also been coordinating with the Israeli government to let them know where they were. This was not an accident. You can't say after everything that they went through to try to make sure that they were safe, that it was an accident. There's no accident about this. Despite coordinating movements with the IDF, the convoy was hit as it was leaving a warehouse where the team had unloaded more than 100 tons of humanitarian food aid brought to Gaza on their maritime route. This is not only an attack against the WCK, this is an attack on humanitarian organizations showing up in the most dire of situations where food is being used as a weapon of war. This is unforgivable, said World Central Kitchen CEO Aaron Gore. The 7 killed are from Australia, Poland, United Kingdom, a dual citizen of the US and Canada, and Palestine. I am heartbroken and appalled that we, World Central Kitchen, and the world lost beautiful lives today because of a tragic attack by the IDF. The love they had for feeling people, the determination they embodied to show that humanity raises above all, and the impact they made in countless lives will forever be remembered and cherished, said Aaron. The IDF says it's carrying out an in-depth examination at the highest levels to understand the circumstances of this tragic incident. You don't have to, we understand the circumstances of this tragic accident. We know it. And, I wouldn't trust anything the IDF says about it. You don't trust cops to investigate cops. You don't trust the IDF to investigate the IDF if the IDF does something wrong, because generally speaking, it's intentional. And the saddest part about this, too, is World Central Kitchen is pausing our operations immediately in the region. We will be making decisions about the future of our work soon. So Israel got what they wanted. They wanted them to stop bringing food into Gaza, and that's what happened, because the risk is now too high to even people who are foreign to Gaza, foreigners going in, humanitarian workers from around the world. There's no safe zone for anyone. They don't want to send people in knowing they could just be slaughtered. It's absolutely tragic and sad, too, that, again, so many other people might actually care now that it happened to these people as opposed to the over 32,000 Palestinians that have been slaughtered in every horrific way imaginable. But now that a group of white foreigners were also killed, well, now some people are actually maybe going to reconsider where they sit with the IDF.